Hi everybody, how you doing today? Time for another 5-minute tutorial on tips and tricks in PowerDirector. I have version 15, but this should work in other editing software such as Sony, Adobe, etc. I've created a playlist, PowerDirector Editing Software Tips and Tricks, where all of these tutorials will reside on my Studio David channel on YouTube. Here is where you will find other videos that I may mention as precursors to the video you're watching today. Okay, this tutorial here is going to bring all the previous tutorials on folder structure, media management, and template use to a head. We're going to put this all into practice here today. First, I need to start off with an overview on the file path hierarchy. Let's jump up here into my stock photograph folder. And I'll open up my folder I call Starfields. This photo right here called Starfield Instancing Uniform is the background to my opening title card. If I were to rename this as something else, it will not load in to my PowerDirector program file template that has that movie with my opening title card in it. I've temporarily moved that to my desktop. Now I will open up the program file that is being used in PowerDirector, and we'll get an error saying that it is not found. Here we are where I have all them program files of my opening title card. When I open this one up, we should get an error. There it is. It is not found. I'm going to ignore this. The rest of the program file opens up. Now I'll back out, and then I will reinsert the Starfield back into the folder that it was, which is the Starfields, and we'll open up that program file again. And there's that background of the Starfield in place as it should be. Same thing holds true if I were to rename this actual folder of Starfields to something else. The hierarchy, the file path will not allow the picture inside that I'm using to show up. So what does this all mean, and how does this translate into the modular form of movie editing? And the main benefit that I see is in rendering time. Every effect that you apply, or color preset, or movement takes up rendering time. So each one of these little mini movies that I have made that has an effect to it has been rendered already. Therefore, in this template here, all the computer is rendering is the movie. The effect's already been applied. I just updated my camera equipment card. The one that you had seen before was actually produced in a Movie Maker 12, saved as a movie, then I plugged it into the template here. Here is my new creation using PowerDirector. I created this title page and then rendered it as a movie and plugged it into the template here. Now, let's say that you've done this and you have found an error in one of these mini movies, or maybe the case of the main body of your movie. Okay, let's say I change my phone. I no longer have a Samsung Galaxy S7 and I want to update this page to reflect that. Here we are in my main videos folder. I go to Video Common Files, Intro, Project Files, PowerDirector, Equipment, and My Camera Equipment. Here is the template that I have created for this equipment. Here I have my JPEGs of my equipment, the dash camera, the GoPro, the Mavic. I've got my two particles, the lens flare and the video film strip, and the title text. Here we got that right here. Let's change this. See, I got an iPhone. Okay. Here we see that reflected right there. Save the program file. Save the project file. And produce the movie. And overwrite. Go to my folder structure, the event file, plug and go, That movie has just been inserted in there because of the file path hierarchy. And there it shows that I have an iPhone now. Every template that I have now, this will be updated due to the file path hierarchy. Here we are in a fairly completed project. I have this main body section that I have completed. So I'm previewing my project here, and let's say I discover an error. So I go back to this project file, which is the main body of the movie. You can see all the different sections here, and just in this section here, say I wanted to make adjustment, I wanted to trim it or cut out something or add something, whether it be a transition or a particle or anything. Save the project, render the project overwriting the movie file. Then when you go back to the template, these changes you just made here will be reflected in the main body section of the template. Prior to coming up with this modular segmented form of movie editing, I would do everything in one timeline. It was very convoluted, very messy. 7 timeline tracks, particles, fades, musics, everything just all chunked into one timeline. So I'd get everything the way I wanted it, or I thought I wanted it, and then a couple hours later, or maybe a day later, I'm looking at it and something's just not right. It's just not coming together the way I want. And in a timeline situation where you have everything in one project file, when you make your adjustments or your editing, it really throws the timing off on a lot of things, durations, the music, and so on. And this especially holds true with any transitions or fades that you may have between photographs and video, depending on the duration of your fade length. So I keep everything in a modular segmented manner now, and then stitch these pieces together for the final movie. And again, remembering that everything takes rendering time and computer power, I have done some FXs or color presets on a 30-second clip that takes almost 90 minutes to render. So I focus on that individual segmented clip, apply the FX and the color presets and everything, and when I'm happy with that, I've rendered that, it's done and done. Keep things in small, manageable pieces, stitch it all together at the end, you can't go wrong. That wraps it up for this tutorial. Hope you guys can take some of this information and use it to your benefit. Thank you very much.